really good at this business, way better than I am. And I think it's a good opportunity for people to listen to one of the best coaches in the whole company. And I think as we move forward, I don't think anyone would argue the fact that in the next 5 years, Instagram is absolutely going to pop like crazy. It's already popping, and you can see a lot of the young kids I know that are in their mid-20s, maybe late 20s. They're really not even on Facebook anymore. Not to say that Facebook is not important for so many of us. The majority of our people are still on Facebook, but if we can attack in two different avenues, I think we're going to always be better off. But 5 years from now, you can see the shift happening. All these famous people, actors, actresses, athletes, they're all over Instagram. So I think it's important that we build up our Instagram while still working our Facebook at the same time. I know it's overwhelming for people, but I'll be overwhelmed for 10 years if I can be rich for the rest of my life. That's kind of what I was looking at. Here's something to keep in mind. When I started this business, it was right around this time of year. It was actually October. It was late October. And I worked so hard, late October, November, December, and I really didn't make any money. But I worked hard on getting myself out there. So if I fast forward to now, getting myself out there would be being active on my story, Facebook story, Instagram story, posting, messaging, inviting. If that would be the kind of like the equal amount of what I was doing back then. Back then it was a little bit different because we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Facebook groups, but I was in 100% attack mode. Not a clue what I was doing, and which is great because we feel like we know what we're doing. Not a clue what I was doing, but keep this in mind. I had about 300 something friends on Facebook. And I came in about a month after today's date, a little bit after a month. In my first year, I went out and made $18,000. Okay, that's $1,500 a week. $1,500 a month that I made in my first full year with Beachbody. So many of you might be sitting here kind of like drawing the line in the sand where this could be the start of you kind of taking it seriously in attacking and having that big 2019. And I worked so hard that first year, and I made $18,000. I worked so hard. It flourished the second year where I made $86,000. That $86,000 in my second year in Beachbody, a lot of that came from the work in my first year. All right. So a lot of times in this business, you're doing work and you're not getting paid, but you're building yourself up. And I'm telling you, social media is never going to go away. Okay. We need to be better at social media. So many times people want the business to be easier for them. But if you become better at social media, that's how the business becomes easier for you. Okay. You have to do the work. You have to do the grind. Okay. I wish it was easier. It can be easier. If you work better on social media, it will be easier. If you don't put in the work, it'll be easier for someone like Danielle Prestigion, for someone like Andrea Lynn. That's who it's going to be easier for. It'll be easier for me because we're putting in the work. So keep that in mind. At any point, you can draw the line in the sand. It's important that people don't fall off track on their fitness journey this time of year because people are watching you. They're not going to just buy from you in January because they're going to buy stuff. They want to watch you in October, November, December. They want to see you kill it on your fitness journey. And then that's what's going to allow them to have faith in you. And then they're going to make their purchases. So Danielle Prestigion, let's put you on the mic because you're a little bit better than this than I am. So, but I obviously will chime in. And if people have questions, people need to ask questions because we feel like between some of the great coaches on our team, we have all the answers. We have all the answers. But people need to ask questions because you might have a question that you think is stupid, but 5 or 6 other people that they have the same issues and we need those questions answered. And not only that, you might have someone that had the same issue back then, but if they found a solution for the question. That's why we feel like we need to ask questions, and that chat thing is always open. So Danielle, I don't want to take up any more of the time without you. Let's go. I got my pen and paper. I'm taking notes because I feel like I can always learn from so many of the great coaches on that team.
All right. Hi, guys. So
you want to unmute yourself, Danielle. This is going to be an issue. I know you're a low talker, but
I am unmuted. Nope. Can you not hear me?
It's me. It's me. I'm sorry. It's me. I had to turn up my volume.
Yeah. We're good?
We're good.
Yeah? Okay. So let's chat about Instagram. So I don't have a game plan. I'm literally just going to babble. So ask me questions in the chat box, and what I'll do is I'll go back at the end and go through all of them. I wanted to kind of cover like all the different aspects. So the first thing I want to talk about is literally just what the heck do you post on Instagram and how to actually use your Instagram to the best potential in terms of you posting. And keep in mind, this is like a tiny little piece of Instagram is what you're posting and what you're sharing to it. So much of it is the actual actions that you're taking in addition to the posting. So I'm going to separate and talk about Instagram stories and then your actual Instagram page, feed, all that kind of stuff. So your Instagram page is your storefront. When you're thinking about a really good Instagram account, think of all those influencers that you see, brands that you see, bloggers that you see. You will never go to their page and see a picture that is out of focus or is blurry or the colors don't match. It's going to be really pretty all the time. It's always going to have a pattern. Let me actually, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, perfect. So this is my page, and I'm going to talk about your page first, and I'll talk about stories second. Your page is your storefront. So if you go through my feed, every single picture has the exact same filter on it. It's the exact same color tone. I've been trying to do mostly blues and blacks and like neutral tones. The orange threw me off a little bit. That is how picky I am with like the visual aspect of how my Instagram looks. If you scroll down, it was not always this cohesive. It was kind of like a hot mess before. But from about here up, I use the exact same filters on every single picture. If I have a picture with like, I think that it was this one, it was in Tony's basement. He has all the red. Red doesn't match my feed. So I literally used an editing app and took out the red. Be that specific about what you're doing. So that's kind of your storefront. I do not post every day on my feed. I post maybe, I would say, 3 to 4 times a week, which I know sounds crazy because when I started, it was post 3 to 4 times a day on social media. On your actual feed, you want to be posting once a day, if that. It should be a quality post. If you're questioning, should I post this? Is this good enough? Is this a pretty enough picture? Don't post it. Wait. You're so much better off to have really good quality on your feed versus like just putting up a post for the purpose of putting up a post. Another thing I wanted to talk about was your bio. So something I see a lot with people is they just have like Beachbody coach in their bio, or it's not really specific. It will be like dog mom, personal trainer. I used to have these things too. What you want to think about with your bio is who do you help and how do you help them? So for me, I help ladies gain confidence while losing weight without the crash diets, crazy cardio, or giving up foods they love. For you, it's going to be a little bit different, right? Like we don't all focus on confidence. We don't all have this approach. Tony may be like, I help people make money from home, right? Or like retired special ed school teacher helping people make money from home. It's specific. We talk about who he helps and how he helps them. That's your bio. Your link, I honestly am not a huge fan of Linktree. And I know that's like a very popular Beachbody coach thing. The problem with Linktree is it gives people options. And when we give people options, instead of taking action, they just don't take action at all, right? Because it's like, think about when you go to the Cheesecake Factory, there's so many different options. You don't know what to pick. You can't decide. Same thing with this. If you're giving them 50 options, become a coach, join my challenge group, try my Energize, they're not going to pick one. If you give them one option, they're going to do it. So I have a free 5-day meal plan because I focus a lot on nutrition. For someone else, maybe if you're a nurse, you have like your 5 tips to working the overnight shift. That would actually be a great one if anyone's a nurse on this call. But like being specific to your people. Who are your people? Who do you help? What do you love? You know, maybe it's like busy mom tips for busy moms, or recipes to sneak in veggies for your kids, whatever it may be. Give them a resource and collect their email. And this does not need to be fancy. It can be as simple as a Google form. I use Typeform. I literally get their emails sent to my email, and I personally just send them an email with the link to my meal plan. It's not fancy, it takes up my time, but I'm getting people's emails that follow me on Instagram. So, yes, Tony, question?
Now, we have a lot of girls that, a lot of people on our team that do use Linktree, and Angie's supposed to teach me how to do it, and she never did. But how do you feel if they use Linktree but only have one option there?
So if that's the case, then I would just put the link.
Okay.
Because that's kind of like the purpose of Linktree is to have more than one. I would say, if anything, if you're going to do a Linktree, have no more than 2 to 3 links.
Yeah. When I give people options for Beachbody workouts, I only show 2 because if I give them more than 2, they get so overwhelmed and confused, and I got to check with my doctor now. And, you know, so I think 2 is a very solid approach.
Yes. Yeah.
I know she's on here. All right. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. So last thing on my actual feed, and then I'll check out the questions, is your highlights. Use these to your advantage. I always try to keep this client love one popped up to the front because it's all of my, oh, I can't see it if I'm not logged in. It's all of my like testimonials. It's when people message me and say, I'm down 5 pounds, I'm so excited. That goes there. When people have before and afters and I share them to my story, that goes there. So always share your clients and then give people resources. So I have Mealspiration. I have meals that I eat, so healthy meal ideas. I have nutrition tips. I have meal prep, workouts. This should be more of like value and less of you. Like I honestly, the only reason I have Sophie's little bubble there is because I really want to keep those stories of her. I probably shouldn't have that. It should only be like things of value to your following. Let me open up the chat for the feed. What app do you use for photos? So apps for photos, there are so many. Let me look at what I have on my phone right now. The number one I use is Lightroom. It's a little bit more complicated to use, but what they have now, it's called presets. If you search Google or Lightroom presets, you basically download it and it's like a certain formula that you just, I literally put my pictures into Lightroom, press a button, and they all come out like with that same filter. So I would find either a Lightroom preset, or there's another app that's called Fisco. It's VSCO. That's the same thing. You can do like the presets for it and use the same one every single time. What else do I use for photo editing? Retouch is a really good one if you have like objects in your picture that you want to remove. That's a great one. I use Retouch. I use Preview to actually preview. I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can see. So that's my posting plan for the week to make sure that it looks okay and it all like fits the right settings. It's Preview. I can type all these out too and post them in the team page. What else do I use? That's really it for like filters, honestly. It's VSCO. There's a couple other good ones. There's Snapseed. I would say most important is just find one that you like and use it consistently. How do you add your link to your page? If you go to your profile, you edit profile, it gives you, if you're set up as a business account, it gives you the option for a website. If you're not, you can just type it into your bio. Oh, and that, I should actually answer that question too. Should I create a separate page for this? It's totally up to you. On Facebook, I would always say never create a page, use your old page. On Instagram, you can totally start from scratch if you want, but keep in mind you're starting from scratch. You're not gonna have your warm market. You're not gonna have people that already know you. You're literally gonna be starting from 0 followers. But if you're really passionate about this and you really wanna grow it, I think it's totally fine to start a new page. Should you go business or personal account? I hear this question a lot. My opinion on this is until you have 10K followers, I would keep your account personal, but switch it to business if you need to run an ad or if you want to check your insights, which I do suggest doing. So I would switch it to a business account, look at your insights, see what posts are doing well, see what times people are most interacting with your posts, and then switch it back to personal. Reason being, Instagram is similar to Facebook, and how on Facebook, business pages don't get seen as much because they want you to pay for ads. Same thing on Instagram. If you have a personal account, they're not gonna hide your posts because they don't know, right? Like they don't know you're trying to grow a business. They don't know that you could potentially pay for advertising. So until you get to 10K, I would keep it a personal account. Once you're at 10K, you can use the swipe up feature on your story. And then I feel like you have enough of a following to where your engagement should be pretty good that it's not gonna hurt you to be a business page. Does that make sense? How do you get the story highlights the same color? Story highlights are, so the little picture that I have, I literally one day just added them all to my story, and then you can save it as the highlight cover. And all of this stuff, you guys, honestly, the only way I learned how to do this is because I literally Google it and YouTube it. So if there's like certain little things that I'm talking about that you're like, oh, I really want to do that, but I'm not sure how, go Google it or YouTube it, and you will find a tutorial on how to make your story cover highlights. Literally, if you search that.
Gary Vee actually talks about that. He said, we live in such a lazy country where YouTube has all the answers. Mm-hmm. Like, all you got to do is type in Instagram story highlights, and they'll have it laid out for you in a 5-minute, like, little tutorial. Yeah. They have all the answers.
Yes, that's literally how I figure all of this out. Does the link in your bio open a form that gives you their email? I can actually show you, Hannah, what it does. Hashtag, oh, I'll talk about hashtags too. Gain followers. So I'll talk about followers and like gaining followers and all that stuff after. I want to literally just talk about like visually what you're posting first. So this is what my little opt-in looks like if you click on it. I use typeform.com. It's totally free. It literally just gets their name and their email. So if you hit start, first name, last name, and you guys, well, actually don't all do this because then I have to email all of you a meal plan. So please don't fill this out on my Instagram. And I do not have this fancily set up. It literally comes to my personal email, and then I just personally email them. Here we go. Submit. So I submitted it. Now I'm going to get a personal email with that person's email. I literally email them and say, hey, here's your free meal plan with a link to it. And then I also mention my free Facebook community. That's literally all it is. It's not fancy. So hashtags. Hashtags I do in the post. And again, this is one of those, like, you hear back and forth all the time. Should I do them in the post, in the comments? It's not really going to make or break your account either way. I do them in the initial content. I do a couple dots so it looks prettier on my phone. In terms of what hashtags to use, search Instagram, find hashtags that relate to your people and use them. It does not have to relate to the post. I will kind of change them around a little bit. Like this one, I did do fall fashion, fall outfit, pumpkin spice. But it can be like, you can have a post with your dog and it can have the hashtag like weight loss journey. It doesn't have to be specific to what you're posting. There's actually a website. I have to Google it because I don't remember what it's called. Actually, possibly I sent it to one of my coaches. There's a website that if you type in interest in, it will spit out a bunch of hashtags. And it makes it really easy to figure out. So you can like type in stay-at-home mom and it will give you a bunch of hashtags that relate to that. Let me see. I can't think of the name of it, of course. Here it is, displaypurposes.com. Type it. And yes, you can only use 30 hashtags per post. That is true. Geotagging. So I do tag my location in all of my pictures. I have a couple that I pretty much rotate between. I usually switch between Boston and Charlotte, just because I feel like that's where my people are. For you, you can do all over. It doesn't have to be like, this was Marco Island, Florida, because that's where my before picture was taken. Like, get creative with it. It doesn't have to always be the same. And if you do different locations, it's gonna pop up in different like search features. So that's kind of worth doing as well. Make a list and save it to your clipboard. Yeah. Tony's location is Bridgewater and East Bridgewater. Tony, you could do like a California too every once in a while.
They do have a Bridgewater in California. So once you get a list of hashtags, I have about 3 or 4 that I kind of, I have about 3 or 4 saved to a clipboard that I kind of switch between. So if you want to make a list of say like 25, 4 groups of 25, that way you can throw in some random ones that go along with a post, right, Danielle? Mm-hmm. So if they had like a stable list of 4 groups of 25, and you can put it right on your clipboard. So when you make a post, you go to your clipboard, save it, copy it, post it, and then throw in hashtag fall fashion, hashtag pumpkin this. But remember, you can only have 30. If you post more than 30, when you make the post, it'll show none of your hashtags.
Yes. Correct. And it's not going to benefit you to do less. That was a rumor floating around for a while, like to only do 10, only do 15. Make use of all 30. Any questions, any more questions on the actual like visual, what your feed looks like?
I think I'm actually going to go back and delete some of mine because I don't take in consideration that like when new people follow me, that's probably going to be the first thing they look at. So I need to go back and maybe delete a few. And I don't care if there's like 3 or 4 days in between posts. I want it to look pleasing to the eye because that's going to be like you walk into Macy's, the storefront, right? That's your entrance. And this is my storefront to people that follow me from Wisconsin. You know, so I need to go back and kind of eliminate some that might not be exactly what I want them to be. And most people probably will have to do that.
And most people will only go to the first, like, so no one's going to scroll past my first 12, my first 12 pictures. That's like the most important. I always make sure I have a before and after in there within that 12 because that's going to catch someone's eye, right? The other thing is if you look at those 12, it should be everything that you're about. If there's something in there that doesn't quite fit or there's not something in there, like you're like, oh crap, none of these posts are about coaching, there's your answer of what you need to be posting more about. Or, oh, there's no fitness post in here. I probably should post more about that. Oh, Sophie's not in one of these pictures. I need to post a Sophie picture. Like, that's going to give you an idea visually of what you need to add. The other thing, Tony, don't delete your pictures. Put them to your archive. So when you click on the 3 dots at the top, it's going to give you a couple options. If you archive them, something with the Instagram algorithm, it doesn't like you constantly deleting pictures or deleting large amounts of them. So you're better off just to do that. I actually do that. Like if I post another coach's Beachbody transformation, I hide it after I post it.
All right, so this is what I just got out of that. Archive your crappy pictures, and then have like a top 5 of things that you need in like a group of 5 pictures that you need in your top 12. We'll call that first like section your top 12.
Mm-hmm.
Business related, a before and after. What else? You have Sophie in your top 12. You know, and maybe you having coffee. I know you drink a lot of coffee.
Right.
You know, that's probably all. Those 5 are probably always in your top 12.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to look at my top 12 right now because I'll probably use my phone. But I need to archive some pictures and take care of my top 12. And I'm sure everybody else too, right?
Yes. Yeah, someone just asked that. Absolutely. I would. Why not, right?
Why not what?
Why not delete it if it doesn't fit if it doesn't look pretty, you don't need it.
Yeah, not delete it, archive it.
Yes.
Archive it, okay?
Yes.
Because if you delete it, apparently that will hurt your Instagram algorithm.
Yes.
Or your edge ranking or whatever they call it. They change these words. I don't know what any of these words even mean.
I don't even know. So that's your feed, is your storefront. Your stories are like your mini reality show, your daily reality show. This is where I show up every single day. I don't care if I'm having my life is not exciting, you guys. I literally do. I'm the female version of Tony. I do the same thing every single day. There is like no excitement happening, no like switching up of the things. It's literally the same. But I still show up every single day on my stories, and it's so important that you constantly do that. Even if you're not posting, like I haven't posted to my actual like feed since Friday. I won't post until tomorrow night, but I've shown up in my stories consistently since forever. I always make sure I have a minimum of 5, and that's like bare minimum. I had the worst day ever and I really don't want to post. I would say the more you can do, the better. In terms of, Tony's going to take a picture right now of us on the call.
Put it on my story.
There you go. So your story is your reality show. And my biggest thing with this is don't make it just Beachbody. It shouldn't just be drinking my superfood shake, doing my workout, on my team call. It should be other parts of your life that have nothing to do with Beachbody, because that's where people are going to relate to you. That's where they're going to like associate with like your dog, right? Like I always have these crazy dog people following me because they like see that I always have Sophie on my story. Or I like will get, when I do a poll about Target, I will get so many responses because that's just real life stuff. They don't want to always see Beachbody. They don't want to always see your workout. So make sure you're sprinkling things in other than just Beachbody. In terms of Beachbody stuff, curiosity marketing is huge on your stories because people are going to message you, right? So if you say, here I am drinking my Shakeology, they can very easily go to Google, search Shakeology, and go buy it. If you have your, Tony, what do you call it in your stories?
I don't call it. It was Jen Robbins. She called it the Vegan Power Shake.
Vegan Power Shake.
Absolutely brilliant.
Right? So people are going to message Tony and be like, what the heck is
I see all the pets, Vegan Power Shake. That's Jen Robbins. But that's why it's so important to have these calls, because everybody can learn from each other. Jen's a brand new coach. And right away she thinks Vegan Power Shake, and that's curiosity marketing at its finest.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's perfect.
All right, and the Beachbody, I every day I drink my Shakeology, usually with a song. All right, and I call it vegan, whatever. Mm-hmm. Every day I do my unicorn juice. All right. Every day I post a workout, and then the rest of my posts, I feel like that's when I build trust. That's when I build a relationship. That's when they know this guy eats salads every single day. This guy has 2 diabetic cats. Like, that's like letting people into my life as much as I want to let them in. Like Danielle, I do nothing in my life. I have the most boring life. It's nothing to me because I don't like to do anything. But my life sucks for a lot of people. Like, most people would take my life and be like, that life is terrible. For me, it's perfect. But I find a way for people to be like, wow, that guy has the best life. I don't leave like within 5 miles of like my house every day. But if you kind of bring people into your life and you engage with them, I engage with the polls and things like that. People feel like they know you, and if they feel like they know you, guess what? They trust you, and they can ask you questions. All right.
Yeah. So that's actually, the polls are another great thing to use. I use a poll pretty much every day. And I don't only use it when I want to do like a Beachbody question, right? Like, it's not just, hey, pumpkin spice is here, who wants to order? I literally do a poll. I did a poll yesterday about my birthday, and I asked people who hates their birthday, and everyone voted that they celebrate their birthday month. But like, people love voting on that stuff. They love giving their opinion.
Yeah, and one thing I've had success on is when I have a cheat meal, I'll write, this is my cheat meal, and then I'll post like a big juicy cheeseburger, and then I'll write, should I do it? Heck yeah, you should. No way, don't touch it. And then anyone that votes, I'll message them. Anyone that's not a coach, I'll message them and I say, hey, thanks for voting on my poll. It opens up the conversation. All right. And if you're following other coaches and you see that poll, I know for a fact that if those polls get engagement, I haven't seen this anywhere, but if those polls get engagement, it's going to help your ranking on the Instagram stories. So if you see a coach, everybody help each other out. If you see a coach that has a poll, just hit something. I don't care what it is. If you see that little swipe right thing, swipe right, because it's going to help. We're going to all help each other's engagement, because what you want to do is, if you look at the stories and you kind of consider that being Google, all right, I want to be the first story on everybody's page. All right, I don't want to be on page 8 of Google. If I'm on page 8 of Google, I'm broke for the rest of my life. If I'm on page 1 of Google, I can suck at what I'm doing, but I'm going to make money. All right, so you want to be one of the top few stories on people's stories, because guess what? When I look at stories, I don't go to number 8. I watch the top 3 or 4. And who do I see? I see Danielle Pressajohn. I see Aaron Mayer. I see Taryn Dickey. I see everybody that's pounding the stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just opened my Instagram. You're the first one on there.
Of course I am.
The poll, not the poll, the like heart thing too, where you vote, that's a good one. I use that a lot with clothing. People like to give their opinion on clothes. And then also question. I do the like ask a question. That's a great one, because that is such a good one to message people back. I did one about skin the other day, like skincare recommendations, and I was able to message everyone back and have like conversations about it because they gave me like this tip. Someone said their Instagram has no poll question. You had it and it disappeared. Log out and log back into Instagram. If that doesn't do the trick, completely delete the Instagram app while you're logged out, reinstall it, log back in. You should have it. The Instagram features are really like touchy though. I still don't have the music option on my Instagram. It's just the way that they have to manually allow it into every single account. So some people are missing different features. It's weird. There's no like fix for it.
I believe they go in waves. They give it to like 25%.
Yeah.
And then the next 25%. So sometimes somebody will have something. I don't have it yet, but I have something that they don't have in time. I mean, they're going to keep coming out with new crap, but you know what? People have made millions of dollars without these. I mean, these are bonuses that we should be. But if you don't have it, don't be like, oh, all down in the dumps. Like, there are ways around getting people's attention without one or two things. Me either on the music. Yeah, and Lynn Betcourt is active on social media, and she doesn't have it either.
Yeah, so, but be active on your story as much as you possibly can. Engage with people on your story, which I'll talk about engagement in a minute. But on your stories to invite, don't be afraid to invite. I would say do a video of you inviting, like speaking to people, inviting them. but do it in all different ways. Like some days I'll do a video and I'll be talking about pumpkin spice Shakeology. Another day, maybe I'll do a poll. Another day, maybe I'll do a before and after. Get creative with different ways because different things are going to speak to different people. Don't always just do a before and after picture because that's easier and it's scary to talk to the camera. Trust me, I hate doing videos, but people follow you and people trust you because you're doing videos of yourself. I think that's a huge piece of it too.
I used to hate doing videos.
Mm-hmm.
I hated being broke more.
Yes, I see so many stories of pictures, like just pictures, and I scroll right through it.
A good question to ask is, I'm about to get my workout in. Give me one song that fires you up, and people love that. They love typing in that song that fires them up. So right before you're about to get your workout in tomorrow, God bless you, Kelly Moten O'Neill. Not Kelly. That's Jessica. That's Jessica.
I was gonna say, wait a minute. They look a lot alike.
About to get my workout in. Give me one song that fires you up. That'll get a lot of engagement, and then that's just the start of it. Now you got to message these people. That's what builds trust. That's what builds relationships.
Yes. Any questions on like what to post to your stories? You're unsure. It's totally fine to be repetitive too. Like Tony does the same thing, have a trend of like, I post a quote in the morning, I post my personal development, and Tony does the same thing where it's basically the same thing every day. It's just that specific day. So don't be afraid to be like, oh, I just posted this yesterday. People like consistency.
Yes, and what you're doing is you're pounding it in their head that you're getting your workout in. You're pounding it in their head that you're drinking Shakeology. And realistically, I don't really do much in my life. So I need those like 5 or 6 basic things that I do every day. And then from there, I'll add a few things. If I'm walking out to my car and I see a frog, well, story, boom, take a picture of it. Who cares? And what I'm doing with that is I'm just moving myself right back up to the top of Google, you know? And sometimes I'll go like 2 hours, like, shit, I gotta go post something. I'm probably sliding back. And then I'll think of something. I just found these sneakers in my closet. Totally forgot I had these. Post right back to the top of the newsfeed. Or the stories, I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm just going through to see if I missed any questions. Someone asked when we switch it to a business account, if you lose followers, you won't. You use your basic phone video cameras to record. Yes, absolutely. I have no special anything for my stories. No special apps, nothing like that. Do you use anything?
I am the biggest white trash person you'll ever meet in your life. I have nothing. I have nothing. I do want to say, if you do stories, don't talk for like 7 stories in a row. Sometimes I hear it, I'm like, oh my God, this is a disaster. So I try to limit it to about 2 stories and then a picture. Because when I see people, I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. I'm not catching any of it. It's annoying for me personally.
No, I was going to mention that and I forgot. I usually say 3 is your max.
Max. And if you're doing 3, you better be giving value on it. You better catch them on the first one, and then you better be giving value on the next 2. Because the next time you do something, you're like, oh, there's this girl talking again, right? You know, so quick, powerful, and then you want to move it into a picture for your next frame.
Yes, yeah, that's one thing I'm really big on. The only time I'll go more than 2 is if I'm actually like giving nutrition advice or like really talking about something. Nikki Cabral asked, can you go over basic posts for stories too? Honestly, basic posts for stories, I do this with every single new coach that I ever have. We make a list of 5 to 10 things that they're about. So for me, my 5 to 10 things are Sophie, my dog, Target, coffee, body image, eating disorder, everything that I've struggled with. Like dance major, coaching journey, fitness journey, lifting weights, nutrition. Those are probably that's my 8. So 8 things that I'm about. Those 8 things are literally the only thing I post about, right? Like I don't think I post anything outside of that bubble. So that's kind of your guide. If you can make that list of 8 things that you're about, and it's going to be totally different for Tony than it is for me, than it is for someone who's a mom. once you have that list, it's going to help you with what to post and what to post to your story. So every day when you're like, oh crap, what do I post? Think about your list. Okay, Sophie is the first one. I can easily post a video of my dog, right? Like catch her doing something cute and post it. Okay, nutrition. I can easily post a healthy meal. Workouts, I can easily post my workout. And those are kind of the things that are going to help you with your stories. New coaches, film your workouts, your Shakeology, your personal development, and then sprinkle in something that is not Beachbody, whether it's your family, your kids, your dog, you love going to Target, your coffee, whatever it is. Like, I think it's important to have that personal touch.
You know what I'd like to see from you, Nikki Cabral? I'd like you work out with your son. I'd like to see a short video of you working out with your son. I'd like to see a post-workout picture with you with your son, and maybe call it hashtag single mom power. Use that for your advantage, because think about the amount of single moms that would kind of like build up. Like, oh shit, this girl's working out with her kid. She's getting it done. And then a picture of your kid doing his homework. Like, how many parents can't get to, so a picture of you working out with your kid, a picture of you finishing the workout with your kid, a picture of your kid working out, use that to your advantage. I think that kind of shows a piece of your life. For me personally, I would love to see something like that.
I didn't actually know she was a single mom.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's a really good piece of her brand.
Yeah, huge piece.
I would totally use that.
And her son's working out with her and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge piece. I mean, how many moms out there are looking to find someone like that to help inspire them, Right.
Yeah, I would totally, Nikki, that would be your brand. I love that.
I was trying to keep him off my public. Oh, so all that is on me.
Oh, your son?
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe adopt another kid that you don't care about. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? You could say something like, not even have a picture of, like a picture of you, like my son got his workout in and did his homework, single mom power, something like that. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to be in the pictures.
Sprinkle it. No, what would be really cute, actually, Nikki, is your sneakers. Like if you do your sneakers and his sneakers, stuff like that. People are renting out their children. Yeah, doing like their backside of your kids, stuff like that.
Shannon Silva rented out her kids.
Andrea Cabral, too.
Yeah, well, they're Portuguese kids, so they're probably little terrorists like I was.
Out for rent.
Yeah.
All right, so that's kind of our posting, right? So posting is literally like 20% of your Instagram. It's awesome if you post. It's necessary to post, but you're not going to get a bunch of followers and like people knocking down your door wanting to do your workouts and watching your stories unless you're doing the other stuff too. The other stuff is literally being social on social media. Use it for exactly what it's made for, right? The more you can engage with people, the more you can talk to people, the more you can have genuine conversations, follow people, comment, like on their stuff. That is how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to build and find your following and find those people who are going to want to know what you're doing. The goal is really to have people follow you that no matter what it is that you were doing, like it wouldn't even have to be Beachbody. It could be like the dog food that I'm giving Sophie. People are going to want to do it because you have that loyal of a following. That's really the goal with Instagram. So how the heck do you do that? Number one thing is to engage with the people who are already engaging with you. So the first thing I do every day is I go through my stories. I honestly start at the last story posted because those are the people that like literally watch your story through the whole thing, like hang on to everything. Those are the people that are engaged the most, right? Because they're watching your entire story. Those are the people I start with. If any of them have a story, I go and watch their story. I try to make it a point to message them. So if you're watching someone's story, you see there's a little comment box at the bottom, you can literally message them from their story. So perfect example, I had a girl that I really wanted to be a coach, and she had been in a coaching sneak peek of mine. She didn't sign up. I hadn't really heard from her. So I watched her story one day and she was on vacation in some like beautiful location. So I just sent her a message and I was like, oh my gosh, looks amazing. Enjoy. I got a message back and she was like, oh my gosh, I've been meaning to message you. I'm really interested. I just haven't had time. I'm on vacation now. So like I got my answer right there and I didn't even have to bring up Beachbody or coaching. So just be a normal human. Don't act like you're trying to recruit anybody, like you're, searching for the next sign up. Treat it like you're literally just being social. You're talking to your best friend. You just watched your friend's story and you're commenting to them about something funny their kid did. Like literally treat it like that. So I go through everyone's stories and make it a point to message them. The next thing I would do if I was like trying to engage with people is I would go through and I would message the people watching my story, right? It can be as simple as, hey, thanks so much for checking out my story every day. I really appreciate it. Ask them a question. Always end with a question so that they have to respond to you. And ideally try to make it more of like a open-ended question versus like a yes or no answer. Get them talking, right? So that's the number one place I go is my stories. I go to the last one, go through the stories, message everyone. The next place I go is to my most recent posts. Anyone who comments, I make sure I comment back. The sooner you can comment back, the better. So Instagram really favors immediate comments and it favors immediate responses back. So when you post, don't just post and disappear. Post, have people comment, reply back to those comments. That's going to really do a lot for your engagement. That's number one. The next thing I always do is I go back through, I respond back to everyone. If it's someone new or someone I haven't talked to, I'll send them a message, thanks so much for following me, blah, 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 ask them an open-ended question. Anyone who's liking my pictures, same exact thing. You could open up a conversation with them. Maybe you have a boot camp coming up and you want to invite them to our free 21-day challenge. Thanks so much for following me. Really appreciate your support. Are you on a health and fitness journey too? We're opening up, a free challenge. Any interest in hopping in with us? Don't overthink it. It's literally that simple. I use that question all the time. Are you on a health and fitness journey too? If you have any post of you working out, talking about your fitness, maybe it's like you and your son. Do you have any kids too who are like doing the workouts with you? Something like that. Make it personal to what you tend to post about. Last place I go for engaging with my followers is literally to all the people following me, right? So you can go through your followers and literally type the letter A. All the A people will pop up. You can go message all the people that start with the letter A. Same thing with B, same thing with C, all the way down through your followers. So that's kind of my number one place of people who I engage with is the people already following me. All that makes sense?
Yes. Yeah. This is work, people want to make $100,000 with this. This is work. But for those that do the work, I think 5 years from now, they're going to be sitting very pretty because everything you're talking about, everybody can do. Not everybody will do, but everybody can do. And I've seen this on my team for the past 7.5 years. People that came in that I thought would be great weren't so great, and people that I didn't really expect much out of ended up being great. Okay? And now I feel like even more than before, because social media is so much more powerful than before, all it is working. Back when we started and Andrea Lynn was with me, Hannah was with me, it was almost like, who'd you know? Can we get them in a house party together? Nobody wants to leave their house now. Nobody does house parties. So now it's who works the most on social media is going to be the most productive with their business.
Yep, absolutely. So the other thing that's really important, obviously, is we want to grow a following, right? People aren't going to come to you, but if you go find people, they'll find your profile, right? So I would say the most important thing, again, is just be engaging with people, comment on stuff, like on stuff, follow new people constantly. Oh, Nikki, yes, you should totally do that. I'm just seeing your comment. She wants to go back to one IG and just keep it public. I would, and just remove anything you don't want people to see. If you have your Instagram and you're not sure who the heck do I follow, all you have to do is click on that little magnifying glass at the bottom all of these posts are like my perfect people because they basically base it off of the stuff that you're liking. So I see a really good meal prep picture. I see like girls who are into fitness, people at the gym. So say I pull up this picture, she's working out. Obviously, I'm going to go to her account. If she has a ton of followers, she's probably not going to be like my ideal person. So I'm not going to follow her. But what I am going to do is go to her recent posts and look at everyone who's liking and commenting. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to follow them, or I'm going to go check out their page and comment on some pictures, like on some pictures. One thing I suggest is, this is like an old method, but I do think it kind of works, is if you follow someone, go to their account, follow them, and like maybe 3 pictures and comment on one. That's it, really simple, but that's gonna make them a little more likely to be like, oh, who is this person commenting on my stuff? And again, if they go back to your page, this is why it's so important to have a really good page. If they go back to your page and they see Beachbody Coach and all they see are like workout pictures and they don't really match, and they're probably not going to follow you back, right? Because people have, not that there's anything wrong with Beachbody, we love Beachbody, but people have preconceived notions, right? So, but if they come to your page,
He's going to try to sell me something.
mm-hmm.
I'm not going to follow her. That's what they think.
Yeah. So again, that's kind of where it comes back to, are you posting really good stuff? Are people going to want to follow you? So now I can go through all these people and find my new followers. And that's really all it is. It's just a matter of taking the time, finding accounts, following people. One thing I suggest doing is having a couple main accounts that you use as your like go-to, that you can go like an account with 100,000 followers that you can go to, and that's where your people hang out. And how do you find those accounts? Same exact thing. Go to the search bar, see all the like posts on the popular page, and go find some accounts that fit who you are. I'm trying to find one right now that would be a good example for me.
And one thing too, if I'm looking at somebody and they have 2,000 followers, but they only follow 100 people back, they're probably not going to follow me back. But if they have 2,000 followers and they follow 1,500 people back, that is somebody that I'm going to try to add because they're more likely to follow people back. If you look at accounts and sometimes they have a ton of people following them, but they don't follow anybody, I'm probably not going to waste my time on them. I'm going to look for someone that at least has the numbers that are pretty equal. There's a better chance that they will follow me.
Mm-hmm. This is where I get sucked in the black hole too. I want to show you guys this. So I just clicked on this post from my search page. She's adorable. She looks like someone who I would want to be a coach. If you scroll down, it's going to bring up posts similar to the one at the top. So most likely all of these people now, I'm going to want to go check out their page, go see who's following them, go see who they are, follow them, like them, and like immediately I have 5 new accounts that I can go watch the followers of and interact and engage with. So it's really, really easy to find those accounts.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
So some of those people that you were just talking about that seem like the perfect like coach or whatever ideal world, sometimes they have a large following. And you try to scroll and see like if they're into something else already, which a lot of times they are, but sometimes it doesn't seem like they are. And in my mind, I'm like, they must have a large following because they already do something. Do you even bother? I don't know. If they have like 8,000, like how the hell does a normal person have 8,000 followers that isn't doing anything, you know?
So there's this like weird phenomenon on Instagram of like college age girls that literally have massive, like even my cousin, she's 17 years old. She has an Instagram. She posts something. She gets like 500 likes. It's crazy. Like it's literally just the way it is. So
I get young friends at the gym and they have 10,000 followers and they're like 22 years old.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's like Instagram is going to be, especially the future for the younger people. But I'm like, I don't know, people just stop following me. Like you go to Boston College for a weekend party, all of a sudden the whole campus follows you. So it happens. Didn't happen to us, but it happens to
Tony's going to start going and hanging out at Boston College now.
I literally am going to do that on the weekends now.
Yeah. I'll go with you.
But yeah, I would definitely, and honestly, my favorite like coach question is, oh my gosh, I love your page. It's so amazing. I just have to ask, are you a coach too? They'll either say yes, they'll say no, they'll say, you know, oh no, but people ask me all the time. Like, you're going to get a variety of answers, but that's a great way to ask without being like weird about it too, you know?
I actually asked somebody that today. She was from Canada, and she was with that mind all her pictures of fitness. And she does like hydraulics on cars or something. She's like,
Oh.
I'll send you the message. I'm like, Bill. So now when I have the next challenge group, that's going to be one of my invites. You know, she's not a coach. She's obviously into fitness. So if they're not a coach, like, you kind of write that down and be like, all right, this one's going to get an invite to my next group. And I know Nicole Bradford writes, somebody asked, do you write them all down? Nicole Bradford writes them all down.
So I'm looking at this now. Someone asked, do you follow all the people that follow you? I would say no, only follow the people that you want to, like that are your ideal people, right? If some random guy from, you know, another country follows me, I'm not going to follow him back. But if it's a girl from Tennessee who looks like she would be an amazing coach, absolutely I'm going to follow her back. So it's just like if it's your ideal person, follow them back. If not, you don't have to. Do you keep a written list of people you follow and track them? I personally don't, but I do recommend, there are a couple apps that I recommend. I know I talk about this all the time to my team. It's right now, they're only available for iPhones, but I think it works. Andrea, you actually started using it, right? So it's Captivate and Cleaner. They're two separate apps. Again, I'll post in the Team Icon page the like links to them and a couple tutorials. They're confusing to figure out at first, but it can really help grow your account because it basically, oh, Cleaner is on Droid now? That's so exciting. Awesome. Okay, so you can use it if you're on Droid. Basically, Cleaner, what it does is Captivate follows everyone. So you pick like a main account. Say it was, I wouldn't pick this account, but just using it for an example, say I pick Lululemon. I can set it up so that overnight the app goes to everybody that follows Lululemon and follows them. And then I can use Cleaner to unfollow anyone who doesn't follow me back. So everyone that follows me back, I continue to follow. Everyone who doesn't follow me back, I unfollow. I really like the app because I think Andrea, how much have you grown?
So I had a lot happen over this whole month, like deaths and all that other stuff. And I have notes that I started it on August 1st and I had 598 followers. And I think I consecutively put like 3 hours into this app over this last month. And my followers as of the 13th were 1,243. So that's that's only using those apps. Like I didn't go in and manually do anything on Instagram. I just put like a couple hours over a month into that, and that's what it did for the following. So if you use it consistently, it definitely works.
That's awesome. Yeah, it definitely works. I think it's like $5. You have to do the upgrade, and it's like $5 or $10 to do it, but I think it's so worth it. And then how long do you wait to unfollow people? I would wait like a week. So I would maybe do all your follows from like Monday to Thursday. And then on Sunday, use Cleaner to unfollow them. It's Captivate is the like following app.
Is there such a thing as a bad story post, meaning something that will affect your ranking because of no interactions? No, because a lot of the stories, there are no interactions. They're just stories, you know? And a lot of times when I have too much of a gap in time, like I haven't put something on my story in 2 hours, I'll look for something random just to bump it up to the back to the top of the feed. And I think for you, Mike, you got a family, so I think a family shot would always be like that filler, you know, whether it be you with your 2 daughters, you with your wife, you know, I think that would always be the filler for you.
Someone had asked who? I think possibly Lynn. So Lynn actually asked how I gained all of my followers. I just started using Stim Social probably like 3 months ago. So I literally built my account pretty much without like the apps, anything like that. One thing I did do, and this is something, don't stress yourself out about this until you're ready to put the time into where you're doing the follows, you're connecting with people, you're having conversations, you're growing, and you're wanting that little extra step. I do engagement groups on Instagram. And basically all it is an Instagram chat with 15 other people who have accounts similar to mine. And we post in there when we have a new post up. Everyone goes and comments on that post. Everyone likes it. And we do the same for theirs. Again, it just helps with your engagement on Instagram because you have those immediate comments. You do want to do it with non-Beachbody coaches because what it does is it like cross-pollinates your audiences. So if Tony and I did it, all we would be doing would be sharing our own followers with the slight chance that something goes viral and goes to the Explore page. But really it would just be like passing our followers back and forth. So you want to do it with other accounts that have like your ideal following that maybe aren't Beachbody coaches.
Yeah, and what you could do is take a look at people that have maybe 4,000 followers and just ask them. And that's how I started one. I messaged people. I said, hey, are you looking to build your Instagram account? And they said, yes. So I was doing it on videos, 15-second videos. I'm like, I want to put together an engagement group. That way, when we make a post, we can all comment on each other's posts, which helps it in the algorithms. And I have a group of like non-Beachbody coaches. There's probably 10 of us now. And I'm going to try to build it up to about 20, 25 people. All right. That is like, don't stress out about that. Yeah. There's a lot of work to be done on Facebook. There's a lot of work to be done on Instagram. That's just something like something more down the road for a lot of people. But I think the number one thing is take care of your storefront, attack your stories, go out and be social, liking, commenting, following new people, and get them to follow you back, and then interacting with those people.
Yeah, I honestly think the most important piece is to be interacting with your followers, like the people actually following you. So number one thing is interact with those people. Number two thing is getting new people that are following you, right? So those are like your two priorities aside from posting consistently. Sarah said, I haven't actually. So on the National Wake Up Call a couple weeks ago, they talked about, it's called Follow Adder. It's an app that helps grow your following. I honestly haven't looked into it. There's so many different ones now that are out there. Captivate and Cleaner is, I would say, the cheapest way to go. And you're going to have to do a little manual work in terms of like picking the accounts, but that's probably your cheapest option. Any other questions? I'm trying to think.
I think everybody here, I saw this, I follow a lot of teachers, and the teacher once said, she had a post, and I sent it to you on social media, Danielle. She said, initially I used to ask, do you have any questions? And then she changed it to, I want one question from all of you.
Oh.
Because she said, when you ask them if they have any questions, nobody says anything. But everybody has questions. I talk to Danielle. I ask her questions all the time. Like, I think people look at me and they say, oh, he has it all. I don't know any of this crap. This crap is all new. And we all have to learn this crap. And we all have to get better at it. So if you have, like, I think people should stop typing in questions because we have an expert here that actually understands this. I understand a piece of it. I think she understands a heck of a lot more than I do.
What's my favorite filter? I actually have a preset, and I honestly, here's the thing, you guys, I wouldn't even use it unless you're very similar to me, because it almost has like a pinky tone to it. Like, I feel like it fits my personality, but it's a preset. So I bought, it's a preset for Lightroom. I think it's called Pinky Winky. But again, if you go on Pinterest and you search presets, you're going to find so many. Tony, that was like the magical, everyone's asking questions.
Yeah, you know what's funny? There was a guy, I forget his name. He wrote the 45-second presentation. and he said he used to build his team with teachers. So what I was doing is like looking up teachers. A lot of this is teaching, and if you follow teachers, they might give you like some, might not be able to sign them up, but they might give you tidbits that you can use for your business. And when you're checking in with your challenges, that's something that you can ask them. I want you to give me one question that you have, or I want you to give me one thing that you struggle with on your fitness journey. We do that post every time. Instead of, does anyone struggle with anything on their fitness journey? Nobody says anything. Give me one thing that you struggle with on your fitness journey. Give me one thing that you like about this challenge group. Don Filer. Yes, Andrea Cabral. Don Filer, the 45-second guy.
So someone asked, do you think the time that you post on your page matters when it comes to engagement to make sure that, so basically same question. So this is when I would switch to a business account, and the only thing that you need to have a business account is you do have to have a Facebook business page, but you literally don't need anything on it. Like, you can just create it with the click of a button from your Instagram. But I would switch to a business account, and then when you have a business account, these 3 lines in the corner, if you click on them, you'll see insights. You can click on insights, and I'll be able to see which of my posts were the most popular. And like, I can look at, okay, what time did I post it? What did the best? I can even see like website clicks, profile visits, how many emails I got. You can see reach. So my reach is up, my impressions are up, but like I can see my Wednesday post on September 12th that did the best. So Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday were my top posts. So now I know, like, you see that, the barcode? Now I know those are like ideal days to post, and I had posted around the same time. So I would switch to a business account and look at your insights and see like what days, what times posts are doing the best. Yes.
You know what I noticed some of the top coaches do? They go live on Instagram a lot, and they don't even know what they're talking about, a lot of them. I think what they do is when you scroll over to live, it lets you know how many of your friends are on. So if I go to live right now, it says 50 of my friends are on. These 2 people and 48 others. That's a pretty high number for me. So I think what they do is they know more or less what's the number that's pretty high, and they go live. So this is when you got to think real quick and just be like, hey, what's going on, guys? I just want to give you a recap of my day, and just kind of talk. All right? And then maybe ask a few questions, maybe set it up beforehand that if you have a note card that you can write down a few questions. And I've been going live like maybe once or twice a day. I never save them, so they're never in my story because a lot of them are train wrecks. But when I'm live, I feel like these people feel like they know me a little bit more because I'm live on, and I see Danielle Natoni. She goes live a lot before workouts, after workouts. I haven't done IGTV. I need to, Sarah Nelson. I need to. But I noticed that these coaches, and they probably just scroll, live. I got 68 people on. I need to go live about something. So just write something down real quick. And usually when I go live, I have a note card with like 3 or 4 bullet points that I know I'm going to talk about. So if I get thrown off, I can always come back to those. You can upload a video saved on your phone. Ooh. Yes, I need to look into that, Sarah Nelson. I've been seeing other people do that.
Yeah, so IGTV you can actually save to your page too. The live goes away in 24 hours.
If you share the live, you don't even have to share it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because what I do is I hit the left, and I'm like, if I'm going to go live 3 or 4 times, I don't want to share them all, especially if some of them are terrible, which the majority of them end up being. I just hit left. But you know what? I got on. I talked to 8 or 9 people, and I tell people, inbox me anytime with any questions you have. I always say that. So.
Nikki asked, how many hashtags do you use? Do you find it makes a big difference, and do you change it up or stick with the same ones? I use 30 every time. I make sure I use my 30. I don't find it makes a big difference anymore, honestly, in followers or likes. I think if I didn't use them at all, it would. So I think it's important to use them, but I don't like automatically get 10 followers when I post because of my hashtags. And I use pretty much the same ones. I switch it up here and there. I'll like take in and out stuff related. Like if I have a Sophie picture, I'll do more dog hashtags. If I have like an outfit, I'll do more fashion ones. So I kind of switch them up based on what's going on, but they're pretty much the same. Jen asked, do you pre-plan your posts the week before? So Tony and I will have two completely different answers for this. I plan everything. I plan it in a Google Doc, and I use that app called Preview to make sure that the pictures look pretty in my Instagram. You don't need to. It just makes it easier for me, I think.
Yeah, I think people need to know how they work. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I'm like spur of the moment, and then I post it. With Danielle, she likes to be very planned, very structured. Not like that. I'm not gonna like sit down and write everything out. You need to know who you are as a person. If you're like me, you gotta think fast though. You gotta think fast.
Yeah, the pre-planning definitely helps. And I honestly, so what I do, I have a Google Doc running all the time. So like say I have an idea for a post tonight at 9 o'clock, instead of writing it and posting it right away, I'll write it and then I'll just save it to use another night. So that way I can still like think on the fly. When something comes to me, I write it, but I don't necessarily use it right away. And then when it does happen to be a busy night where I'm coaching and I get home at 8 and I don't have anything planned, I can go and copy one of my old posts and use that. I do think for the pictures, like visually planning that ahead is very, very helpful.
It's funny, in this business, everybody keeps looking for the secret sauce. This is the secret sauce. This is the work, you know. I can stay up till 2 in the morning finding people, commenting on their stuff, following them. Everybody could do that. Not everybody will. I know when I get off this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go live on my Instagram, and I'm gonna talk about, we just had an amazing team call with Danielle Prestigion, giving us so much information. I was so happy to see all my teammates on it. I recommend everybody do the same thing. I'm so happy to see all my teammates on it. So I'm gonna go live for about a minute or two. I'm not gonna save it. And then I'm gonna do a story saying, I just got off my team call. I'm so fired up. I really love what we do, helping people on their fitness journey. Danielle Prestigion knocked it out of the park. There's a lie for you, and then don't save it, and then you have a story as well. This is all simple stuff, and then the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It's like playing basketball. If I never play basketball, I'm not going to be any good, but the more I play, the easier it becomes. And that's how this business gets easier, by you getting better. And these this was a great call. For me, personally, great call, because I feel like I learned a lot, and I think other people look at me and they're like, oh, he's already good at Instagram. Like, no, she is a million times better than I am. And I feel like I learned a lot, so I imagine everyone else did as well. Thank you, Danielle Prestigion.
You're welcome.
All right, we need one more question from all you people. Or one more thing that you're struggling with, and then we'll make this another 5 minutes, and then we got to go, and we got to work on our stories and work on our live.
Yay, Nikki switched to one account when using Cleaner. I think it's so much easier to just have one focus. And yes, use Captivate and Cleaner together, because that way you can follow people and then use Cleaner to do the unfollowing.
You know what I started doing too? Maybe this will help people, maybe it won't. I have a notebook for Facebook and a notebook for Instagram. You know, so so I'm not mixing and matching the names. I mean, notebooks cost what, $1. So if I'm engaging with somebody that I'm going to add into my challenge group from Instagram, he goes in the Instagram book. So now if I'm doing Instagram, if I'm on Instagram, the Facebook book is over there. I'm not even seeing those people, because you know what? I'm not on Facebook right now. And then if I do a 10-minute spurt on Facebook, the Instagram book goes over there. I grab the Facebook book.
I just had one more thing I want to tell you guys. This is how I organize like prospects and who I want to follow and stuff. You can actually create collections on Instagram. So say I want to save this picture. See that little bookmark in the corner? If you click on that, it says save to collection. And then I can save to my collection. And I have like a prospects, I have a dream team, I have sneak peek. So like people who have been in my coaching sneak peek, I have my coaches in there so I can go and like see what they're all up to. And then when you click on, and then you can view your collection. So you'll have like your saved section. And I can see, like, go through and see all of my prospects. So now I have a collection full of people that I want to go engage on their posts.
And maybe for the new people, just to make a prospects one.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having 4, just keep it simple. And then as they become more accustomed to it, maybe they can do like and all that. All right. Any other questions?
People are going. Yes, this will be posted on the team page. You're a fan of everything. How many subjects should you now put? I would say 5 to 10 is fine. Just make sure you always have a before and after in your top 12 posts, and something about coaching and something about fitness, I would say.
Yeah, and I think for Mr. Valvinus, wrestling is one of his things too. Like that's a lot of his followers. He goes to wrestling events, you know what I mean? So wrestling should probably, the picture of like the Undertaker or whatever. That's part of your brand.
To write on my photos, I use Rona. I spelled that wrong. Rona Designs, RHONNA Designs. There's also Word Swag. Those are my 2.
I just use the Instagram ones. I wouldn't even know how to use those.
All right.
All right. So I don't know. I feel like this is good. I feel like we have everything we need to move forward. And I'd like to do this every Sunday night at 9:00 because I feel like we can all learn. I want people to bring their questions. You don't have to be great at this business. You have to be consistent. I've never once been great at this business. I've made about $3 million. I am not great. I am relentless with how much I want to work. That's it. You don't have to be good. You just have to you have to work hard and you have to be consistent. And then at the end, what happens is people, oh, that Tony Furtado is so great. No, I'm really not that great. I just put in more hours than everybody else and I wanted it bad. And I was so sick of my life. So I needed to do this. So I think that is ultimately what separates people, no matter what form of social media we use. It's the work ethic behind the scenes. I mean, Danielle learns all this because she does work, she's on YouTube, and it's great having her because she can share information with us. But this is all like everything she has, she learned through working, right, Danielle? Like you just don't wake up one day and figure out, oh, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, word swag for this. Like it's all trial and error. So many people now don't have to go through the trial and error because we have us as a team kind of doing it together. All right, we are out next Sunday night. If you don't have a picture yet, take a picture so you can post on your stories, Facebook and Instagram. And I recommend that next week, like prepare to have your face on, because if we have faces on, it looks a lot better than, hey, Joan Cagon was on this call, Joe Schmo, you know what I mean? It looks a lot better for our team, and we have so many beautiful people on our team. So be prepared. So if you got to do 10 minutes of makeup or whatever, I don't care. I look the same all the time. And it's never really all that pretty. So I've just kind of given into that. But the picture would look better if the majority of them had on that.
If you do your makeup.
Yeah, if you do, yeah, make sure. I'll do makeup, So, but great call. I feel like it's great having people like Danielle Prestron, and we have so many great leaders on our team because we can all learn together, we can all grow together, and I truly feel I've done nothing spectacular in this business besides just work for a long period of time. So I feel like anybody could get there, and I think calls like this will absolutely help us get there.
Yes.
All right. Anything else before we go?
I think we're good.
We're good. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Let's kill the challenge group tomorrow. Stay focused. Get your workout in. Post early and often. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.